Hello and welcome to another episode of Embers of the Imperium Homebrew. Today we're going to be looking at how we have put together an Empyrean player for the RPG, one of which we do have in our group here, who is currently named Bruce, although that may change in the future. I think this will be a pretty short video because we've kind of gone over the basics in previous videos, but I'm going to just go over a character sheet that I've put together on a PDF for Star Wars Legends of the Galaxy. All right. So we're looking here at a character sheet for the Star Wars Legends of the Galaxy. Of course, we're playing a homebrew version of Embers of the Imperium, Twilight Imperium 4 based role-playing game that we're just kind of cobbling together since it isn't out yet. So this is our Empyrean player. The character name that Matt has made is currently Bruce. I don't know if he's going to be sticking with that name or not. Making a mistake on this, but I believe they're supposed to be about 9 feet tall. They don't have eyes or hair. Okay, so very distinct look to them. So kind of tall, winged fellows, aliens, with no eyes or mouths, or I believe no orifices on their bodies. Very interesting character coming with the Prophecy of Kings expansion. So we do have one in our campaign at this point. So I just want to go over how we made him. And if you have any disagreements or better ideas, maybe let me know in the comments. So we'll start off with the characteristics. So I'm starting them off with the base template of 2-1-3-1-3-2. And so that means they have a 1 in agility and cunning and 3 in both intellect and willpower. And the reason I've distributed it that way is they are kind of the watchers of the galaxy, and they come across to me as people that are kind of slow, methodical thinkers, as opposed to quick on their feet sort of thinkers. They've been sitting on the edges of space for many, many thousands of years, kind of patiently watching. So when I visualize them, they're slow, they're plodding, but they understand things very well. And so I thought this was a good spread for them. And of course, with this template, 2 3s, 2 1s, and 2 2s, they would be starting with 80 XP as their base experience for character creation, which means that, as our player did, they could bump their intellect and willpower straight to 4, which makes a nice, in our case, a nice doctor, but, you know, wherever you want to put your proficiencies. I gave them a little bit less in terms of wounds, even though they're big, bulky fellows. I gave them a point in soak instead, and then knocked their wounds down to 9 plus brawn. Because I wanted to have more of a focus on their willpower. So I gave them an 11 plus willpower for their strain. And then I figured soak is good, not only because of their large mass, but also, you know, looking at their pictures, they kind of have a leathery sort of a look to them. So I thought, okay, so maybe some natural armor there is kind of a racial bonus. And speaking of racial bonuses, they have a voidborn ability, what we're calling it, so they can live in the vacuum of space. So pretty powerful ability. I mean, it's very situational that you're in space and you need to live up there without any sort of life support. But in a space-based game, this can obviously be very powerful. Star feeder is what I'm calling their ability to consume starlight for energy. So they don't have mouths, they don't have orifices on their body. Their energy comes from starlight, which of course would include sunlight. So as long as they're exposed to that, they can eat. Probably don't do so well at long periods underground. And they have an ability that I'm calling neuro-radio link. If somebody has a better term, I'd like to hear it. They cannot speak, but they can mentally broadcast radio signals. So in our campaign, they speak directly into people's communicators. I guess he could speak directly through his own as well. That did not occur to us. So I didn't give any proficiencies. I believe the racial bonuses were powerful enough that I felt like giving any innate proficiencies like we did with a lot of the other factions would kind of just be overpowered. So it's kind of what we're looking at right now. Of course, we're play testing. Don't really know how this is going to turn out. But for now, this looks like a pretty nice, competent player. If you watched our session 0, it didn't fare well in combat, but ours turned out to be an excellent doctor. If you are looking for proficiencies, if you do decide you want to add proficiency, my personal recommendations might be astrogation and xenology. Because, you know, again, their knowledge of the stars as well as the observation of the various aliens around the galaxy. Anyways, that's about all I have to say about this one. Again, I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments, and have a wonderful day.